and card. 46 years is a long time. And we've known the blessing of the Lord on our lives throughout our marriage and two wonderful girls. And we know who we serve and who we love and who we're grateful to the Lord for all his blessings on our lives throughout our married life. This morning, I'm going to share with you a message which I have brought before in this church. But as there are so many new people here this morning, so many people will not have heard this message before. And I think it's worth repeating because it gives us a principle which none of us in our lives want to miss. Doesn't matter where we are in our Christian lives, none of us want to miss the principles of what I'm going to be speaking about this morning. It's taken them the only miracle, which is the only miracle of Jesus, which is recorded in all four Gospels. It's in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It is the miracle of the feeding of the 5,000. It's well known. It's well known to all of you here. I'm sure all of you will know the miracle of the feeding of the 5,000. But it's something that is so relevant to our lives today, and it contains the principle that none of us as Christians should miss. I'm going to read from Mark's account, which is in Mark chapter 6, verse 34, coming up on the screen as well. When Jesus went ashore, he saw a large crowd and felt compassion for them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. When it was quite late, his disciples came to him and said, "This place is desolate, and it is already quite late. Send them away so that they may go into the countryside and villages and buy themselves something to eat." But he answered them, "You give them something to eat." And they said to him, Shall we go and spend 200 denarii and bread and give them something to eat? And he said to them, "How many loaves do you have? Go look." And when they found out, they said, 5 and 2 fish. He commanded them all to sit down by groups on green grass. They sat down in groups of hundreds and 50s. And he took the 5 loaves and 2 fish. Looking up to heaven, he blessed the food and broke the loaves and kept giving them to the disciples to set before them. He divided up the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied. And they picked up 12 full baskets of broken pieces and all sorts of fish. There were 5,000 men who ate the loaves. That was a wonderful miracle and showed the power of Jesus to provide for his people. I'm using a little bit of license here, but I can think the story began a few hours earlier. Possibly in a Jewish home, along the sides, around the Galilee area, which is where Jesus was at this time. And a mother and a boy got up in the morning, and the boy said to his mother, "I hear Jesus is coming today. I hear Jesus is coming today. Can I go and hear him? Can I go and hear him?" Mother says, "Yes, you can go." "How long will he be gone?" "Well, I hear he speaks a lot. He's got a lot to say. I could be gone all day." "Right," the mother says. You need to take lunch. and you need to eat your lunch. Isn't it strange how mothers are always concerned about what their children are eating? Mothers probably more than fathers, I would say, because they seem to have this way of making sure their children eat. I always remember when our girls were at school, we used to give them lunch boxes. And whenever they came home from school, first thing Dorothy would look at was what had they eaten from their lunchbox? What had they eaten from their lunchbox? Sometimes it was very little. Sometimes it was more than most. Most of the excuses we got, well, I'm too busy playing. Or in Mary's case, I'm too busy talking. This mother was the same. She was concerned her son was going to have something to eat. The boy goes off, spends the whole day listening to Jesus. It's getting late, and he remembers his lunch. He gets it out. He's about to take the first bite, and standing next to him is big fisherman Andrew. Give me your lunch, he says. Give me your lunch. Why do you want it? Why should I give it to you? Andrew replies, Jesus wants it. Jesus wants it. And that made all the difference. Jesus wanted his boy's lunch. Whatever mother's going to say. Whatever his mother going to say. He has no idea when he said goodbye to his lunch that his lunch is going to feed thousands of people. In the natural, it's ridiculous. 5 loaves and 2 fishes will never feed 5,000 people. But it's an illustration. I don't know whether we got it. Can we show 5,000 people, Matt? That's the crowd, or part of the crowd. 5,000 people. And then can we show the 5 loaves and fishes? How on earth is that going to feed all those people? With Jesus, all things are gloriously possible. But please notice what Jesus did. There's a principle which is very important for our lives today and as we move into the future. He took, he blessed, he broke, and he used. He used it to feed the hungry multitude. Incidentally, as we have seen already, Dorothy's already referred to it this morning, he did the same action when he instituted the Lord's Supper. He took, he blessed, he broke, and he used it. He gave it to his disciples and gave us the example of the Holy Communion that we celebrate every Sunday. He took, he blessed, he broke, and he used. And that is exactly what Jesus wants to do with each of our lives today. If you're a Christian, Jesus took you the way you were. Jesus took you the way you were when you became a Christian. All of us here this morning, we come from different backgrounds, different races, different countries. But Jesus took us where we were and drew us to himself. As you would say, the good, the bad and the awful. Sometimes, some of us, Jesus takes us just as we are, and he saves us. He saves us. I came from a good Christian upbringing. Your story is probably different from mine. Some of you weren't even born in this country. Some of you had a different upbringing to the one I had. Even in my family, we were different. When I was growing up, I had an older brother, Colin. Some of you may remember him from years ago. Totally different from me as far as Christian things were concerned, because when he got to his mid-teens, he decided he would go off and live by himself, and living very much the world ways. Got into drugs, got into prostitution, got into all sorts of messes with his life. And then, of course, he left home, went to live in London. And then after about 3 years, we didn't see him for about 3 years. When one night he was in a squat in Notting Hill in London, in bed with a prostitute, and there was somebody who was a bit unhinged, you would say, running around with a large knife, running around the building with a large knife, threatening he was going to kill somebody. My brother said he felt evil in that place, and for the first time in his life he realised he needed God in his life. This was about 3:30 in the morning. He made his way to Piccadilly Underground station, and at 4:30 in the morning he rang my mother, who picked up the phone, and his first words to him, "Mum, I'm coming home. I need Jesus." My father was awake as well at that time. I was still living at home, and my father said to him, "Get a taxi, and I'll pay for it." So he got a taxi, came home. 6:30 in the morning, he led him back to the Lord, said the sinner's prayer, and from that day to this, he has served the Lord in a very real and a wonderful way. In fact, he shares his testimony out on the streets of London, speaks at Speaker's Corner on occasions as well. A real firebrand for God and for the gospel. So Jesus takes us, warts and all. He can take anybody, and he takes us. We're all saved by grace, and that is how God takes each one of us. Jesus doesn't only take us when he saves us, but he also blesses us. In the same way as he blessed the loaves and the fish. Again, each one of us is different, and we all have different needs in our lives. We all have different ideas and different ways of doing things. But we as Christians are a blessed people. We are a blessed people. I know we have problems. I know we have difficulties. I know we have to go through some rough times sometimes. But we are blessed because we're part of a chosen race. As Peter says, you're part of a chosen race. You are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people belonging, the people for God's own possession. There are so many blessings that God has for us. He took, he blessed. We're a Pentecostal church here. Pentecostal church. And one of the ways that we can demonstrate to this world is by the exercise of the gifts of the Spirit. We need to see them more and more in our lives. And how do we operate in the area of the Holy Spirit? By being filled with the Holy Spirit. The wonderful way that Jesus blesses us today. And if you're going to get into the area of the Holy Spirit, it starts with the baptism, which is the power to witness. It's not all about speaking in tongues, although it does come with speaking in tongues. But Jesus said, you will have power after the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses. That is the primary purpose of the Holy Spirit in our lives, so that we can be better witnesses for him. We're blessed in that way.